Hello, students. We are on lesson 3, module 5, recognizing linear functions. So we realize that linear equations in the form of y equals mx plus b can be seen as rules defining our functions. We call them linear functions. So let's explore some of these. All right. You'll be able to create a rule for identifying functions in tables, graphs, and equations. And you know you will understand when you can start to create rules for a function from your table. All right. So is this table a function? Right. So all of the x's are different, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and all of the y's are different. So we're looking good on a function. If I put in a number, I get a number out. Let's see if we can figure out what our rule is. So the first thing we really want to do is say, let's start with multiplication, right? 1 times what equals 1.25? Well, that's pretty easy. 1 times 1.25 equals 1.25. So we start with the rule, the y value will equal 1.25 times the x value. We know it works for this first one. Try for the second one. So 2 times 1.25 is 2.50. 1.25 plus 1.25. Cool. 3 times 1.25. Well, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times a quarter is 75 cents. So that works. 4 times 1.25. If I put it in my calculator, I get a 5. And I actually get all of these answers. So that was pretty easy. The rule is for the x, multiply times 1.25 to get the y. Now we have created a rule for this table, and now we know it's a function because the rules of multiplication say if I put a number in for x and multiply by $1.25, I always get the same answer when I put in the same x because multiplication is a function. If I put in a number and I multiply, if every time I put in the same number and multiply, I will always get the same answer. That's how I can memorize my multiplication tables. All right. So let's move on. So that was from a table. We found a rule that made it a function. Now let's take a look at a word problem and see if we can figure out the function here. So Darnell hosts a fitness boot camp. He's paid $4 plus $5 for every person who joins his class. So let's say the total number of money, amount of money he gets is Y. He gets $4 plus $5 for every person. I don't know how many people they are, so that's my X, right? So my Y is my total, my X is my unknown. I'm going to multiply 5 times every unknown and add 4. Well, that looks like a linear equation that we've been doing with. And a linear equation, every time I have a y, I multiply by 5 and add 4. So that is going to be a function. And actually, every linear equation that we've ever had is also a function called a linear function. Easy enough to remember. Let's take a look at this table, right? So we know when we're thinking of linear equations, when we're thinking of tables, mx plus b, right? The last one I jumped in by multiplying because there was no zero term. So, but this one I know I can't just multiply because 0 times anything is 0. So I've got to multiply and add or subtract. Well, if I think this is a linear equation, I can say, well, this is my intercept. So this is going to be 4. So the plus b will be plus 4. Do these go up by the same amount every time? So 24 minus 4 is 20. 54 minus 24 is 30. 59, oh, see that? But this is going up by 4 and this is going up by 6, and this is going up by 1. Oh my God, it's going up by a different amount every time. So I've got to figure out my rule for this. That makes it a little bit harder. But I'm going to check out this one. If I'm going up by 1, that's one instance of my rule. And I already know I'm going to add 4 to whatever it is. So 59 minus 54 is 5. So if I do 10 times 5, right, and then add 4, I get 54. 59 minus 54 is 5. Every time I go up, I'm going up by 5. So that's my slope here, is going up by 5. So I'm going to think my equation, or the first thing I'm going to try, is 5x plus 4. Now I have to test that to see if it works. Start with 11. 5 times 11 plus 4, that's 55, plus 4, that's 59. So that works. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4, so that works. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 is 24. That works. 5 times 15 is 75, plus 5 is 79. So I'm trying all of these, and I'm getting all of the answers. So this is my rule, y equals 5x plus 4. And this is a linear equation, so it's also a linear function. And I know that because multiplying and adding are functions. They always work the same. No matter what numbers I put in, they will always give me the same number out if I keep putting in the same number. Because if they didn't, I wouldn't be able to memorize my multiplication or my addition tables. So the rule for this table is y equals 5x plus 4, and it is a function. Is this graph a function? If I have a straight line, is that a function? Yes, because my rule for graphs is as long as it's not going straight up and down, or if it doesn't curve back on itself, then it's a function. So this is a function. Okay? So that's all of those. So what did we learn today? We learned that we can recognize a linear function. If we have a linear equation, it's also a linear function. And we can create a rule from a table or a graph to make that equation to find a linear function. Okay? All right. Great job.